The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
Exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, we go into the breach, dear friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have? We got the S&P off 28 points. When we look at the Dow, it's off 292. NASDAQ off 95, and the Russell's down 8. And, you had kind of an opportunity to take a look at the market on Friday and see that bounce. Volume really didn't do what it should have in that bounce. The close today now gives you kind of a little doji out, or I wouldn't call it a doji, but a little candle out there from Friday that can be interpreted as a shooting star, abandoned baby, a variety of ink blot tests of something that went higher for a day, gap to that higher level, and then instantly gap back down the day after. So short term, for kind of bearish. I did put a position on an ETF on Friday on a kind of a bigger bet, and it's doing okay today. We'll see over the next handful of days. But now I've got a little bit of wind beneath. I can't even talk today. Wind beneath my wings, so I can sit on this for a couple of days. Of course, this week we've got some earnings news like Apple after the bell tomorrow night, and Wednesday we've got the Fed. So I think there's going to be a lot of hurry up and wait. What is probably not a surprise, or at least wasn't a surprise to me, is how much or how hard Valley got hit today. That's VALE, since everybody pronounces it in every different country a different way. I have complained more than twice to investor relations from the company Valley, who pronounces it different in Canada, Brazil, and Europe. 3 different ways that I've found. And if you call the company, they answer it 3 different ways. Don't they think they should just stick with one way? I don't know. Guess they don't worry about their customers confusing them for somebody else. But you never know. Anyway, between that, but I wasn't very surprised after what FCX were actually reported and came out with last week. Vail down almost 16%, and FCX is down. Freeport-McMoRan, by the way, down another 8 or 9% after getting clubbed, being a little over $12 now, back down to $10.26. Caterpillar, same kind of thing, and I think we can put a lot of the reason, I wouldn't say blame because things go higher and lower, on China right now, and a lot of people think, well, China's chugging along. It's always been kind of a house of cards. And every time anything gets even closely weak, you see that, especially in the third world, that supplies a great deal of this. I haven't looked at Australia today, but my guess is we're going to probably start seeing at least some level of weakness in Australia, since they have so much to do with just the commodity business, iron ore, gold, silver, just a little about everything. but we shall see. Other things going on, as Tommy said before the bell, we have NVIDIA down a little bit. I talked to Tom, I think, before we left. Maybe it was, I think it was maybe in the first part of December, about the amazing amount of cards coming on the market back from the BitCon. I don't call it coin, I call it BitCon. Mining opportunities. You need, right now, the way they've got it set up, about $8,000 to start making money, and at less than $4,000. In fact, I didn't look at that today. I almost always look at the BitCon price. Let's see if I can pull it up real quickly, which I think I can. 34.15. So you're a little less than half of making any kind of money long term. And we've seen, in fact, it happened, I think, again this weekend. I haven't had a chance to go through the articles in depth, but a lot of these huge systems have now been turned into mining Bitcoin, have now been turned against Bitcoin into hacking Bitcoin prices. That's already happened before, and I think it's happened again. But if you have a lot of computing power, you can kind of bust it and maybe run away with a few coins of your own. And for the most part, FBI, Treasury Department doesn't care. The more that happens to Bitcoin negatively, they're probably more than happy and not going to spend a lot of their time chasing people around for Bitcoins. Other thing going on out here, we wanted to look at, of course, the volume, which is actually started off very slow this morning. No one believed it. We're up to about 4.5 billion shares, though, which is kind of in line with what we've done in the last couple of weeks. I would suspect that we have light volume into tomorrow and probably strong volume Wednesday morning on Apple earnings, and then right back to doing nothing until about 2 o'clock, and we see the Fed come out and do their little dance on the catwalk. Yeah, in fact, it wasn't so much NVIDIA. Somebody in the den saying it wasn't so much that NVIDIA had done a lot of chips. AMD had done so many chips. So what you have now is really powerful video cards for gamers. And these things are everywhere at bargain basement prices. There's never been a better time to actually get at least, well, I'm going to say 6 months or 9 month old technology at a bargain basement price. But I'm going to say that AMD had maybe 3/4 of that entire business. But the problem is that if you have a choice to buy an NVIDIA card for your gaming or an AMD card, you can buy an AMD card used now off of eBay, super cheap. So that overhead's going to be there for a while, even with their new cards that do ray tracing. But we'll talk more about it when we come back.
The TAS Profile Scanner is the most revolutionary piece of trading software that you will ever try. Wouldn't you like to approach the markets with confidence? As you begin your trading day, it's likely that you'll be faced with lots of decisions. In order to make the best decision, the first thing you'll need is a strategy that will help you minimize your risks. Whether we're in a bull or bear market, a good strategy is to have the tools needed to help you scan and analyze the markets before you trade. The TAS Profile Scanner instantly scans and filters over 2,500 global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, president of TAS Market Profile, the TAS Profile Scanner understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications, automated trading algorithms, and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. Whether you're looking at the trade matrix, the ETF heat grid, the market breadth, the landscape charts, or the many other features of the TAS Profile Scanner, this is a piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the markets and set up your trades. The team at TAS has even put together a 12-part video series to walk you through every aspect of the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find directly on the TAS order page at TFNN.com. Sign up now for only $97 a month with a risk-free 30-day trial, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See for yourself how you can harness the full power of the TAS Profile Scanner by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services section. Remember, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Don't let another day pass you by without trying out this amazing piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the market and how you place trades. Sign up today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And as we said, we talked about that for a while, but the problem is trying to figure out when that overhead is over. Because I think we're probably going to find some good buys in AMD and NVIDIA, especially with some of the new cards that NVIDIA has coming out. First, a fully ray trace game demo came out, I think, last week. Pretty good words on it. So I think they've got some technology that would sell in the long term, but it's kind of like natural gas or bulk shippers. Any of these things can be commodities that go to the moon, but eventually they'll come back to Earth. And what we got to find out is what the run rate is for NVIDIA. On machine learning, they own 99% of the business. And AMD, I like that business better than I'd like Bitcoin. And I don't know if there's anything else we can say about it. What else do we have going on here today? Well, let's do a little history, and then we'll get into some charts, some other stuff.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger lifts off from Cape Canaveral, Florida, and Krista McAuliffe was on her way to becoming the first ordinary U.S. citizen to travel into space. She was 37 years old. A social studies teacher from New Hampshire, won a competition that earned her a place among the 7-member crew of the Challenger. She underwent months of shuttle training, but then beginning on January 23rd, was forced to wait 6 long days as the Challenger's launch countdown was repeatedly scrubbed because of weather and technical problems. Finally, on January 28th, the shuttle lifted off for a minute. What was it, 2 minutes? 1 minute and a half? Lots of lessons to be learned about this. Probably the most was how easy it was to prove the problem that the rocket boosters had, and how Morton Thiokol ended up having to change their name to yet another company. Always what you do when you get your hands caught. Also, my high school teacher, a social study current events, I think it was the current events class, but he was a social studies teacher. Was also on there. He was at one time, well, he was, I guess you don't have to say one time. He was a graduate of the Army's big school. I'm having a blank now. West Point. And I always remember he told me that if you wanted to be someplace on time, be there 15 minutes early. I never understood what he was doing teaching, but he was a nice guy, interesting. And I have to tell you that of people I remember in high school, I remember 3 teachers. And everybody always says teachers are so great. I have to tell you that it wasn't till I was about 25 or 26 that I had a really great teacher, and he taught me how to fly. And I learned a lot more about learning to fly than I ever did in school. Maybe it was just the way my personality ran. I think they tried to put everybody into a square peg, and I needed to learn a little differently than everybody else. I was very good at learning from books, but not from people talking. I kind of nodded off about 2 minutes into some kind of lecture. But everybody's not the same. And of course, I was horribly dyslexic. That didn't help a whole lot. So anyway, on this day in 1986, everybody will remember, everybody talked about my previous, all the people that came before me talked about knowing where they were when JFK was shot. There wasn't really anything until this day where I knew exactly where I was at. I'd been working on a big contract. I was doing a giant presentation. It was probably going to make, I was going to make more money than I probably had ever made at one time. And they ran into the room, tore open the doors to the big full screen TV and started watching the shuttle blow up. I went back to my office, quit, and was on 3 days later on a cruise where I met very many people that I still keep in contact today. I think of I'm trying to remember the name of the cruise ship. Anyway, I'll always remember it because my presentation was torpedoed to the point where I'd spent 3 years on this giant presentation that was going to make me millions, and it all blew up in my face. So I know exactly where I was. And also had a really good time on the cruise. Everything worked out. What else do we have going on out here? We got our first question. The implied volatility of PCG put options are through the roof. Is it worth a look at them as a spread play? No, you're just going to lose one way or the other, you're going to lose. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. It's either going bankrupt, which in case you're probably not going to get anything. And of course, if it goes the other way, California Congress decides to give these guys a pass, you can go the other way. But the problem is they're going to know well in advance of you. Maybe you live in San Francisco. Maybe you've got an inside track. But any of these things are headline based. You're probably going to know far too late compared to the people in that state assembly. I don't think I have an edge. Let me put it that way. I don't think I have an edge in figuring out what PG&E is going to do. Although I think a ton of people in their Congress does. Whether they're going to do nothing, they're going to do something. I just don't think you can make money at something like that. It generally blows up in your face. I'd rather have something that a lot of people weren't talking about instead of something that everybody's always talking about. So let's go ahead and start taking a look. The other thing I have is to take a look at NVIDIA. Roger asked me where the bottom is. And unfortunately, I suspect in a lot of these, the answer is going to be a lot like, what was it? Chief Justice Stephen Potter, who said, I don't know what the definition of pornography is, but I know it when I see it. And that is the problem. You got to know it when you see it. We're back down here to these lows that are from the November 20th December 26th and today. But you needed something less than 42 million shares for those. You've busted through it with 51 million shares. So the question is, can you easily see a scenario in which we see this thing come back down sub $100? And I think the answer is right in front of you, which is that it's probably headed to this giant gap down. NVIDIA on May 10th, 2017 had 53 million shares on the way up. And that's probably, what, about 100 to 112? My guess is that's exactly where this thing is going to head. So you got about another $25 down, and that sets up a big move sideways. Again, they kind of pre now.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And hopefully we're back. I'm battling a new version, and I'm not exactly sure why it's showing up here now, of Skype. It's now stuck on my screen. I'm not exactly sure why. Oh, if you click on it over here, maybe it goes away. Yeah, still got issues after 5 years. And they should have never paid $8 billion for it. It works well, but I think they could fix it if they wanted to, but it's always been kind of a zorch. Okay, so what else do we have out here? Dean's Foods down about 4% today. I don't see a great deal. We've got somebody asking about that. Other question is to look at AMD if there's a whole lot there. You got a little less problematic with AMD today, but you know, a lot of these stocks are just in big trading ranges back to 16 bucks. Would not surprise me. You had more energy on the way down off that December 3rd high than you had up off the December 26th low. And a lot of these things are getting about 3/4, 7/8 up to the top and now pulling back and rolling over. You just didn't have enough energy. And again, you got two scenarios. One, we're starting an ABC up to break these previous highs, or we're going to come back and test the previous lows. On AMD, you always had to be a little suspicious. Volume actually increased over the October 30th low that had 100 million shares to 109 million shares on December 26th. So it did not test its previous low on lighter volume. That would make me think that you at least have a good opportunity to come back and check 16 bucks off of it. Other people are asking me what's going on. As I said, in Valley or Vale, or however these guys want to pronounce it, took the probably, well, it does, I think, I do think that it does get the loser horn, if I can actually find it, of the day. Down on huge volume on actually after FCX and then the big gap down today. Probably an exhaustion gap. My guess it's probably going to go sideways around here in this $11 range for a while. I don't suspect you're going to have a great deal more. Generally, when you get these big gaps, that is an exhaustion gap. Could go down maybe 50 cents more, maybe $10.75, but probably in the next day or two, you're going to see this thing go sideways for a while. FCX in the same category. Probably a fairly good indication this is going to retest the $9.60 low. And I got to sneeze. And I'm back from my sneeze fest. It is cold down here in Florida. It's got to be in the 50s. And not good for almost the end of January, where it should be in the 70s. And I should be out in the pool and not have to worry. I have that wonderful 85-degree water made by propane, but not quite yet. Anyway, you're down in FCX back to this gap that came up on the, what's that, on the 4th. We had bought FCX around those lows, and I didn't hold it because it didn't act very well, along with a couple of the other ones. Should have held it a lot longer. All it did was really spike, kind of a dead cat bounce, but so many people were short the thing. So I wish I would have held it a little longer. Couldn't have shorted it, but it's probably coming back down on its exhaustion move to about $9.60. Think there's probably a little bit of over shoot on this based on how bad things are going in China for big commodities expenditures. Caterpillar's kind of the same thing. They're back to this gap up that goes to the 4th also. Again, huge volume. You've got two lows, one at 116, one at 112. You've got some high volume down there at 112. So that's probably where this thing is headed over the next week or so, depending on how the market does. Maybe it takes a little longer if the market does find some support. But for the most part, not much happening. Anyway, S&P's off 27.5, Dow's down 272, NASDAQ off 94, and the Russell's off 9.5. It is sunny here today. It's just cool. Too cool. What else do we have? Okay. So that looked at those. We got 3 minutes in this segment. Got a question about, do I have any idea what's going to happen on Apple? They've been very, very upbeat for as bad as the numbers have kind of turned against them in Apple. The problem is that they're going to probably announce a bunch of stuff in the medical field. But they've done that 2 years ago. They did it a year ago. It's never really mounted to a hill of beans so far. And that's because you can't get two hospitals to agree on anything other than Medicare prices and what they charge. Everybody dances to their sound of their own drummer. As I told a friend of mine in Australia this morning who wanted to get into machine learning about medicine in Australia, he said, well, it's pretty monolithic over there. And I said, yeah, it's like herding cats here in the United States. And I think that's why Apple's had such a tough time about that. But a great deal of the people they've had working on a new product has been to get into the healthcare field, which is about 10% of the entire economy of the United States. So not a bad business. The question is, can you get anybody to agree on anything? And it's tough. And one way of doing things all the way across the country, I think you probably have a lot different kind of accidents you do in Florida than you probably do in Alaska. Probably a lot more frostbite and limbs being having problems. You probably have a lot more gator bites and snake bites down in Florida, and that's the one size fits all kind of doesn't work, but that's it. Anyway, you can give me a call today at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com, and of course, you can do put in the message in the den if you like. But again, we're down 28 points. I don't see a lot of change between the next 2 days. I think you're going to have to get some kind of surprise in Apple, which you're probably not going to get for sales. If they talk up some of their new technology, I think it still doesn't do much. Everybody knows that's kind of a way away. So I'm pretty sure that the best you can hope for is they go sideways. And then maybe the Fed gilds the lily. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. We're discussing whether it sounds better for me to say I'm sneezing or just kind of say that there's a short pause, a spot announcement. But I don't know. I think everybody knows as I sneeze a lot, but you never know. One moment, please. It'd be different if something really horrible was happening, but I don't know if a sneeze is horrible. One moment, please, makes it sound like something bad's going to happen. Question in the den is whether or not Microsoft's going to go to 114. I don't really see it. I kind of see the market ready to pull back. You had a very good dead cat bounce out of this, but you had a 16 on the way down on Microsoft on my Power Law Vector indicator from the December 3rd high down to the December 26th low. So you popped up. Could you still get up? I'm thinking if you were lucky, this thing would probably get to 110 and then roll over. But there's just too many stocks out here that are having too many problems right now. You'd like to look at it and, of course, take a quick look. Even though it's not in the SMHs, it does tend to trade with them a little bit. You had a very light pop out here in the semiconductor business on Friday. Volume much lighter than the Thursday. You had 12.6 million shares. On Friday, you did 9 million shares. You're down today on 5.7 million shares. Like I said, the best scenario I suspect now would be a 50% pullback. And that would take you to, on the SMHs, to what, $88? 80, let's call it $89. Is that right? Or is that 90? No, $89. Just make sure that I'm reading it correctly. And I think that would be about it. It's I don't see how you could make it any better than that. But I mean, you got a couple of gaps right in there. That's where I kind of think that this is going, and it's probably going to tow the software. Let me pull this up too. Anyway, hang on just a second. Because why it is the software sector. What do we have here? I'm just trying to remember the ETF for it. Transport, crude, small caps, semiconductors, SMH, technology. And let's take a quick look at this, and then we'll find the other one I was looking for. Oh, there it is. So on the XLK, you did exactly what a low volume or a counter trend bounce should, and that's go right back to this gap, the 14th of December. this thing gapped down with 15.5 million shares. You tested it with 10 million shares on Friday, and now you've popped back down. I don't think this thing has to go all the way back down to this gap at about 59, but 61.84 would just be a 50% retrace. And that's probably the bullish case, is that you pull back, set up an ABC, and then start trying to figure out if you can bust through the $71 level. PNQI, which is the internet index and internet stocks, which do kind of have effect on Microsoft too. This one actually looks a little bit better than the rest, but it's not a high volume stock. And then, of course, the straight software ETF, which is the IGV, which is what I couldn't think of a little earlier. You know, this is, again, kind of what, like the entire market. Either you come back up and tested on lighter volume, which the IGV did, the software shares. This is the December 3rd high at 190.59. You got to 189.50. Do you have one more day where you get back up there? You could, but you know, you got a little less than 2/3 of the volume going into that previous high. Today, you don't have a whole lot, but you know, this one making just a 382 retracement to 177.84 would be a better look at this thing to go pull back and then make a run to break out that December 3rd high in these. And there's just too many of them that look this way, i.e. that they want to pull back, and they're either going to pull back with more energy over the next few days. We'll thank the Fed for that, or not. And if the answer is not, then you have some nice ABC setups, and you have some fairly long moves, like this one, 159 to 189. So you basically had a 30-point move. You pull back to 180. That gives you 210. So, yeah, I mean, you don't have a huge issue out here, but you could get a retrace, I think, that would set up a better move out here. Again, volume's going to be light the next couple of days. If you're a bull, you just want the market to kind of pull back into that level. But I'm going to say that it certainly looks problematic from a variety of things. We certainly could have 7 or 10 days of more pullback in this market. Okay, what else do we have in the email today? Yeah, I haven't looked at AMAT forever. This thing's been in the cellar. Probably a pretty good indication that things are turning around. I mean, you've had kind of a nice bounce. You even had it with volume, but you weren't able to hold the December 3rd high. But it does look a little bit better. Still didn't have the energy you wanted on the December 26th low up to the January 25th high, but certainly looks a lot better than it did. You've got this big gap from about 34 to 36. Again, you'd love for these things to pull back on light volume over the next couple of days. Get into that area and start an ABC on the way up if you're bullish. And if you're bearish, probably not a lot in that one. What else do we have going on? What's going on in Netflix? Well, you certainly got the retest its support that we were talking about, which was at about 330. It actually spiked down to 318. You had a nice little bounce out here, but the volume is lacking from Friday. You only had a 11.2 million share bounce. That was compared to the days down after earnings with 26.6 million shares and 18 million shares. So 11.2 million shares on Friday. Not much. Today, just about 7 million shares. But, you know, not the end of the world for Netflix, but I would suspect that a pullback to somewhere under 330 on light volume is where this thing's going to go. And it needs to consolidate out a while before it can get moving a little bit faster. Just whiffed on earnings. That's all it takes. We'll be back in a minute.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Well, we're getting ready to wrap up the show. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. Everybody's kind of still a little bullish. We're off 24 points, so off the lows of the day, off 241 on the Dow, NASDAQ off 83. I don't think we're going to go positive today by any stretch of the imagination. Volume is low. But again, as I said, I think from everything I'm seeing, the preponderance of the evidence says that we're going to pull back a little bit. And if you continue to come back on that light volume, you could have ABC setups on the way higher. I would really dislike it if the market went higher right now and did it on light volume. If I was bullish, I'd actually want it to pull back on lighter volume. And of course, probably a great deal of it is Apple tomorrow night and then the Fed on Wednesday. So I don't think we have too much longer to wait. But certainly the news coming out of third world and China is going to be kind of a millstone around the neck of the market for a little while, and we'll see what else is happening. Everybody wants to be bullish, but just markets go higher and markets go lower. They don't have to be always higher. What else do we have? To want to look at a couple other ones. Someone wanted to know about Amazon. Okay, which I don't look at much. It's kind of a tough one to actually trade. It's been going over this confluence level at 1601, and it's been able to stabilize there. So it is one of the stronger ones. Just a kind of a standard retrace would be to, what is that, 1560? 1560 would be a 382 retracement. And that, you may get a spike back there and then a close back over 1601. And that would be kind of a good setup for an ABC higher out here. What do you got? 400 points. That'd take you back up to the highs. But again, you need to continue light volume retraces back to some lower levels. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.